Tune in to Junkies TV every Sunday at 6.
Welcome to Junkies TV. Today we have Manuel Seal in the building. Thank you, brother.
All right now.
Thank you, my brother. Very talented. Let's start out by just asking, where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Then we migrated and moved to Freeport, Illinois. But that's Illinois, the state of Illinois.
Definitely. At what age would you say you discovered your musical talents?
Wow. I'd say 3, because my father was an accomplished musician. My mother was also played piano and she sang in church. So I wrote my first song at 5.
Wow.
So yeah, I would say I was like really aware functionally at 5. Start taking lessons.
Yeah, that is amazing. Who was the first artist, I'd say, that pretty much reached out to you or believed in your skill and talent?
The first artist?
Or
Well, wow. That's amazing. I don't know. The first artist, I can just say rephrasing, the first artist that I worked with was a group called, what were they called? The first record that I did, that was able to make the first record, something 511, I think it was. You remember a group called 511, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time I did a record called I'm Amazed.
Okay.
So I guess that would be the first, act that reached out to me.
That's good. And how long ago?
Oh, that's long.
Get to age of that.
That's long. That's a long time ago. Yeah. I've been doing this for about, oh my God, about as long as I know you, John, about 28 years.
That's amazing. And as a established producer, I know you've experienced a lot. What would be one of the most memorable experiences you had?
Oh, I have several of those, my friend. One of the most memorable experiences I have, I had to do it in the industry and out of the industry. Before I got in the industry, a lot of people don't know that I can do big band jazz music as well. So one of the most memorable experiences was meeting Count Basie and getting his autograph and being able to hear his band, which was like heaven on earth. These cats can really play. I'm not even a musician. I heard these cats play, man. It was amazing. The second was memorable experience was meeting Herbie Hancock and befriending Herbie Hancock, playing for him in his home. When I started my career, he had a big old grand piano, which I said I'm going to give me one day, which I did. Steinway, and I played for him. He was eating dinner. I'll never forget it. And he was patting his foot while I was playing the piano. I'm like, wow, I'm playing for Herbie Hancock in his home.
And he's patting his foot.
And he's patting his foot, yeah. He had all these little jade and gold statues. They had to be worth a lot of money. They was all over the house and everything. And I was like, wow. Okay, third was the experience that was really dope. Was Curtis Mayfield.
Wow.
I spent a whole day with Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah.
When he was paralyzed, we had a conversation all day. And I remember saying, because of how we were making records then, they had to make records on 4 tracks. So when he was talking like that, I was like, he's lying. All that great music on 4 tracks, how did he do it, But you had to be that good back then. You had to be able to go in there and cut the mustard. Couldn't be making a bunch of mistakes, and it was just mind-boggling. But he was the sweetest person, and that would be like maybe that's the strongest. The last one of my idols was George Duke. Mm-hmm. I actually got a chance to play on stage with George Duke at Ron Isley's wedding. I had just finished 3 songs on Ron Isley's, I think it's Baby Making Music album, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he invited me to the wedding, and I went to the wedding in Beverly Hills, and I was eating good, man. I love lamb. I love it. He had the lamb chops and a bunch of other things. But anyway, they got around to the entertainment part of it, and George Duke was the band. He was performing, and I don't know how that happened, but I got invited up on stage, and I remember walking up. I said, "This is one of my idols, man, George Duke," because he could play. This is a musician. Mm-hmm. This guy could play. Right, so I got up there and I said, "What key you in?" He said, "E, baby." so we got in E, man, and I was jamming, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's so good." It was like, it was one of the most memorable evenings and experiences of my life. I've been very fortunate.
That's great. Musical
rich experiences.
For the younger audience who may or might not recognize you by face, who are a couple of artists that you have worked with?
A couple of artists.
Just
let's start with hometown. Let's start with hometown.
Okay.
I work with Xscape, of course. Mm-hmm. All of Social Death, because I was contracted by Social Death to do music and bring in the R&B situations at Social Death. So we had that. Jagged Edge. Of course, and then we did outside stuff. Mariah. We did Usher, of course. Mm-hmm. All his records and stuff. Everybody knows that. And then we did a lot of other work with a lot of other people. I personally work with a lot of women. Mary J. Blige. We worked with Janet. I've worked with Fergie. I've worked with Anne-Marie. I've worked with who I didn't work with. We already said Mariah, but I mean,
TLC.
Of course, yeah, we work with TLC. I mean, it's a long list. It's a long list.
Outside of entertainment, how would you describe yourself as a person, human?
Outside the industry to this date, mm-hmm. I like to think of myself as in the spirit of King David, mm-hmm. who was a musician, but he was also a warrior. So, I mean, there's some things that, as being a musician and being an artist and stuff that, artists see things differently mm-hmm. than most people. You know what I mean? We think and wine a whole different way. So outside of that right now, I've decided to champion the cause, of our people, because there's several gaps that's missing. We have identity gaps, a lot of us. We have gaps because we don't have the knowledge that we're supposed to have in order to prosper. And I believe if we did have that knowledge, that of course we would do better. Our strength is in our unity, and our unity is in our God. Mm-hmm. So I began to search outside of my music to find those answers, not only for myself, mm-hmm. but for our people.
Definitely. You spoke earlier about educating a movement to educate gang members. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Certainly. Basically, I mean, when I went back home, I want, you know, it's like I'm in the ministry. It's like a street ministry thing, you know. And I was talking to some cats who had, what we know in the gang, wanted to know what the violence was all about. What would make our beautiful young men, period, that want to destroy themselves and others, the destructive cause and everything. And I really didn't get an answer, but we know that something has to be done about that. And the reason I'm going to talk with them, because we all have a purpose. We all have a reason for being and living, you know what I'm saying? And the reason I want to talk to them is, if I can be, you know, influential and constructive and trying to, you know, shed some light on the situation, or, you know, or break something down where it's like, how do we attack this problem that is destroying us?